Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Happy Sunday to you and your family. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. We're going to take another look here at Terra Classic. And just to preface, of course, I'm getting a lot of requests for this. This is like the largest requested coin that I have right now. And that's the reason why I'm covering it so frequently. So again, continue to comment below. Let me know which coins you want me to cover. I'll definitely get to it in time. But this one carries priority just based on demand. I pretty much go with what is the most I guess, relevant to the overall situation here. And I think it's important for you to understand kind of what may happen next here. Again, there's no guarantees, but for the most part, we've been fairly accurate with our analysis here recently, and it just seems to be kind of exuding similar behavior to the past, and that's very common for coins like this. And if you're a 1 cent thinker, perhaps this isn't the right video for you. You'll see what I mean here in just a moment. Again, if you're new to the channel, though, not a financial advisor, love teaching people to trade, of course. I love helping people become better traders. And if you want that for yourself, CryptoCache.tech is a site. Link in the description below. I do offer discounts for military and third world countries, but I do offer discounts, well, more importantly, Trading Academy community and Signal Group. It's kind of a one-stop shop for trading. You're going to learn a lot. I've had a lot of graduates recently move on to do very well for themselves. So it's really cool to be part of that. Anyways, here's the thing with Luna, or Terra Classic, sorry. It is essentially doing what it did previously. In other words, this should look familiar, all right? You see these 3 white soldiers followed by a red candle, and then some consolidation at resistance, and the price came back down. We are seeing 3 days of consolidation, 3 days of increase, 1 red day to follow, and we've so far got 2 days of consolidation. So previously, of course, it's not going to do the exact same thing, but hypothetically, this resistance level here at where the price was consolidating, it inevitably dropped after 3 or 4 days. We've got 2 days of consolidation here, so hypothetically, 2 or 3 more days from now, we'll see the price action start to decrease and lose out. And the main reason why is because volume starts to dissipate. Once the volume starts coming down, you can expect the price to come down with it. It's just kind of the case in point in how it works. So inevitably, we see the same exact situation here where the price action is sloping down based on volume. Again, volume is an important thing to kind of pay attention to. Not a lot of folks will understand that. But generally speaking, if you look at volume and you look at smaller time frames, you can identify that we have a strong amount of support down here. Yes, right at about 13,300. There's really not a lot of volume anywhere up here because this is all new all-time high territory. Again, we're excluding the initial candle wick for the first opening day. That doesn't matter, shouldn't matter. What matters most is everything besides that. Okay, so again, we're in all-time high territory. This price discovery mode is great. It's all well and good, but it's almost inevitable for the price action to potentially come down. It has a larger likelihood of that than it would be to increase up to a full 1 cent in value. I hate to break it to you, but you're probably not going to get rich on this coin. You could probably make some decent money, but again, that would have been getting in really, really low. Right now, if you get in right now, your likelihood of 2, 3, 4, 5x is very low. I would not recommend listening to anybody else that says otherwise. Again, this is technical analysis. This is not based on my emotions or the feeling that I get from this coin because it has a large market cap. It's true it's got a large market cap, it's got a lot of sustainability, but it still has limitations. Everything does. And there's only so much you can do with that much market capitalization. All right, so again, that's kind of where we're at there. So I guess that's just kind of a simple overview. If we take a look at kind of more of the standard stuff, we can see 70 on the RSI is getting tested here soon. Okay, and if we were just to kind of think about this abstractly, likely see a bounce there. Okay, so we could very well see the price action come up and try to retest this resistance right at about 26,500. So that's a hypothetical. The other hypothetical is that we lose this support and the price action continues to go lower as it has done previously. What do we want to take a look at here? Well, first of all, previous time frame, it maxed out at 70 on the RSI effectively and continued lower to retest 50. Right now, we broke through 70, of course. That could be a resistance or correction support level, and it could, in fact, stay higher. So that is the one good positive thing here right now, is the fact that the RSI could effectively work as a support level and continue the price action higher. Will it? Should it? I don't personally think so. Again, that's just based on my experience with coins like this. When they have a second strong run, it's almost always followed by a retracement. Again, it's potentially inevitability, but here's some positive too to kind of throw it out there. We are making higher lows in the 4 hour, which is tentatively a positive, but once again, making lower highs too. So we kind of got this wedge type of pattern that's forming, and a lot of times it can break to the upside. These things can effectively break up. That's why this trend line here that we see isn't broken yet, so we kind of expect the price action to continue higher. All right, so again, we want to go on that belief, but adding to your position and getting crazy and adding whatever you have at this level right now, thinking it's going to 2, 3, 4, 10x, whatever the case is, I think is a very, very immature move, right? So just throwing it out there, I don't think that's recommended. It's realistic. Kind of pull yourself back and think about this abstractly. Does this thing likely have such probability to go that far? To the moon, as they say. Well, I'm not a moon boy, and I'm not a gloom boy either. I prefer to be realistic, and that's how you got to approach trading. You got to be smart, and I just don't think that, perhaps this might come up and retest some of these levels here, sure, but it's not gonna double, triple, or quadruple itself in a couple of days. Like, this was an anomaly, and it happened a second time. You really think that's gonna happen a third time? I don't know. It takes time for things to consolidate, things to kind of calm down and contract. And right now we're seeing that things were overextended. Thankfully, we are under 70 and over 50 still on the RSI. If we lose 50 on the RSI, I think that'd be disadvantageous. That would effectively put us below this ascending trend, and essentially put us in a position where the price action should continue lower. All right. So again, we want to try to stay above 50 on the RSI. That'd be very important. But we do still have a continuing, MACD divergence, right? It's still gaining momentum, so to speak. So in that sense, not great, but still kind of telling us the likelihood of downside is still there. Again, it's pretty big in that sense. It has to come down that hard based on how high it came up. So it's inevitable for that to happen. So in all reality, the 4-hour MACD convergence or divergence shouldn't be a determining factor for you. What should be is everything else we've looked at so far, right? Again, doing good technical analysis is really just kind of extracting a lot of information from different indicators at different time frames, getting an overall sense of where things are at, because there's no exact science. You can't just look at one time frame and be like, okay, I'm good to go. That's why we look at everything, right? Daily, 4-hour, and 1 hour are probably the most primary, and then of course maybe Bollinger Bands or VWAP on the 15-minute. There's different little strategies you can apply, but those are all things I teach in my trading academy. Check that out in your own time. Don't have enough time in this video to do that, but what we want to take a look at here is TD sequential, see if there's any type of consistency here. We came down to a 9 here, so that is essentially a positive there, whereas we shouldn't see any further downside, hypothetically based on the simple fact that it was overextended at that time. But again, this is not a significant overextension by any stretch. This is a very small / minor retracement. So I don't really see that being a big deal. That's pretty standard. And when we take a look at the cloud here as well, again, the cloud can be interesting when price is range bound. I can't say that the price is range bound for the moment, but tentatively it is right in between here about 22,500 upwards of 26,000. So 22.5 to 26 is essentially the range that we're tentatively stuck within. It's only been about a day and a half of trading, so it's not truly range bound, but it is working itself out to be there. But again, if history is an indication of the future, we should expect the price action to continue to retest this level and inevitably start to slowly bleed out. That's essentially what should happen because we're losing volume consistently. All right. That is something that's important to recognize. Low volume just provides a breeding ground for bears to take their profits. It's so stinking common. It's like a very, very normal thing. So I'm not surprised to see this, but again, it's holding up a fight too as well with higher lows. So again, there's some decent things. But touching on the cloud, and we'll call it a day here, if you can see the price actions below the cloud, right? This is essentially a resistance level. So we've got basically two leads, upper and lower, and those are essentially resistance levels. Conversion line is below the baseline, so it's telling us if you have a short position open, you want to keep it open. And same with the actual lagging span too. It's free and clear price action. So you add all this together, and this is basically telling us that a short position is much more viable than a long. It's basically what it's telling us. I'm not saying you want to open a position right now because lagging span is getting closer to price action and it doesn't have that momentum to the downside as strong as it should, but it's absolutely making lower highs and lower lows on the smaller time frames, right? So again, a decent chance, a lot more things that we're looking at here are leading down than they are up. And that's just kind of the proof is in the pudding, as they say, right? And that's just kind of the way the technical analysis tells us, right? There could be some crazy fundamental analysis tomorrow or something, fundamental catalyst rather, that pushes the price action up, right? Those things do happen. But again, the second push should not have happened as strong as it did. And to expect this type of behavior to happen 3 times in a row is very unlikely. Well, I forget which coin it was last year that did this. There was a coin that did... was it VTHO? I forget which one it was specifically, but I can tell you that it had a very similar pattern, and the third and final attempt was just nullified. Now again, Different coin, different class altogether. I'm not saying it's the same thing. But, you know, when it comes to trading, things happen in patterns, and you got to recognize the pattern here is telling us that it wants to slowly retrace and start to bleed itself out until it tries again later. Okay, very unlikely we're going to see an upside from here. Most likely sideways and slightly down. That's kind of the idea. All right, so that's kind of where we're at there. That is my conclusion. So I'm sorry if I rained on your parade. If you are happy about where things are at right now, there's nothing wrong with it. Just make sure if you are in a position that's a swing trade and you got in at 8,000 or something crazy, you should probably consider taking some profits. All right, there's nothing wrong with that. But again, if you are a hodler, that's perfectly fine as well. Hold on to this as long as you'd like. Don't even bother with it. Don't even watch these videos. That's not going to matter. Mostly what I do is affecting swing trading or day trading. That's essentially the concept. All right, so I hope this found benefit for you. Once again, thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks again.